And we are officially live. I'm still staticky. All right. Well, still a little staticky. I don't know why. So I give up. Anyways, this is our second official Google Hangout on Smackdown Review. Angry Mark, you want to mute yourself real quick?
Oh, I did. My mic has like a thing where I can switch it on and off.
Oh,
But
cool.
I'll mute from I'll mute from the Hangout. It's not a big deal.
Well, I just mean just for now. I just want to see if. Okay, well, obviously it's coming from my end. I don't know how because I don't have anything on. So, anyways, we're gonna go ahead and kick this off. It's our second official Google Hangout today of the Raw and SmackDown review, August 8th and August 9th. And we're going to go ahead and kick it off with the sexiest man alive. And I'm going to go ahead and introduce everybody in the panel, and then we're going to kick off the show. So introduce him first, the TTC Face-Off, Matt Ogden.
What's up, guys?
All right. And we got the Angry Mark, who has just recently turned heel, Weston Foran.
Okay, come on now, Steven. Okay, I didn't spend 6 years in IWC University to be called Mr. Thank You Very Much. Okay, it's Angry Mark.
Angry Mark, all right. He's earned that right. And then we got the new guy, and I'm going to go ahead and let the Angry Mark introduce him since that's his friend.
Well, he's the local jobber. Nobody really cares about him, but he's my tag partner, so I guess he goes wherever I goes. It's Terrence Stageman.
Wow, really? I only been in this hangout for like a few seconds, and you're already burying the shit out of me. That's great. Every time we do a hangout or every time we do a show, he does shitty intros, man. And now you're doing it on someone else's, so that's great.
Oh, don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me because you had the job to Nia Jax the other night on Raw.
It wasn't me, damn it.
I see we got a match for SummerSlam between you guys coming up.
Yeah, probably we're a bigger draw than what's that other match going on? I really don't know, but flipping Angry Mark, I'm gonna kick your ass, bro.
And we got a lovely girl on the show. She was here with us last week. So the lovely Kristen.
Hi.
Okay.
Hello.
And last but not least, the biggest troll in the as far as a NFL TTC is concerned, Kev, what a view.
I tell you what, Steven, you keep talking like Vince McMahon, I'll drop you on the stack of dimes you calling next, son.
I like that. We got personality today on the show. And we're going to go ahead and start off and review Raw. We're going to go ahead and kick that off, and then we're going to try to speed through this quickly. I know I always say that, but we don't. I don't want to bore my viewers, so we're not going to go over an hour and a half. I'll try. So Raw kicks off August 8th, Monday. And Enzo and Cash come out and cut a promo on Jericho. I'm not going to get into specifics on what they're saying, because to me, I think they're throwing, like, mediocre jabs. But basically, Jericho comes out and then throws a couple of shots back. And then all of a sudden, Kevin Owens comes out. And anyways, what ends up happening? Oh, not Jericho, but Kevin Owens ends up telling Big Cass that he's carrying dead weight, which he's referring to Enzo. So obviously, this is like the promo match that's setting up to the opening match, which is Jericho versus Enzo. Jericho defeats Enzo by DQ because Big Cass had to interfere and put the big boot on Jericho and got disqualified. After Jericho hits the code breaker, Big Cass challenges Jericho and Kevin Owens to a tag team match at SummerSlam, and Kevin Owens says, I accept. So it's official now. It's a tag team match. We're going to go ahead and get everybody's opinion on the match and what they think about this match leading up to SummerSlam. And we'll start with TTC Face-Off, and I'll go ahead and mute myself.
All right, so you want me to ask about the promo first, the wrestling match?
Yeah, well, either or, however you want to go, and then tell us what you think about the SummerSlam tag team match. But we'll go ahead and start with the promo.
All right, what was it? Promo, pretty much what was it like? I'll just say this: WWE's making Chris Jericho's character a joke, and that's just honest opinion. I mean, what was it like? Oh, making him look afraid of Big Cass. Oh, I wasn't talking to you, but you were looking at me. He's like, oh, I was talking to your friend, Hip Hop Hobbit. He's like, really? He's like, WWE do the stupidest insults nowadays in this PG era. That's why it's so dumb now. Because like the way they do these promos is like, where do they find them? Like these soap opera writers or something? Is that who's writing the show? Oh, you could get a kindergartner writing the show for all I care. I mean, that's what it seems like to me. Kindergartners are writing the 6-year-olds.
So what you think of the match?
The match, honestly, I think it was pretty decent. I'm not going to say it was that bad. I'm not going to say it was that good. I mean, it was a pretty decent fight. And I'm just saying that if Enzo would thrive in the Attitude Era, because he seems like a pretty decent wrestler, but that's how it is. But honestly, I'll just say it was a decent match.
So what did you think of the tag team match for SummerSlam?
They're booking a tag team match now?
Yeah, Kevin Owens and Jericho versus Big Cass and Enzo.
I think it's going to be a pretty decent fight, I guess. I mean, it's going to be okay for a fight. I think they're both going to really show each other how good of a tag team they are, each side of it. I just don't understand why Chris Jericho is afraid of Big Cass. It's like, but he just wants to find Kevin Owens. I guess he feels Kevin Owens can match up better with Big Cass, but he's a small dude too, so I mean, it's probably going to be an average type of fight.
All right, so we'll go ahead and go with Angry Mark next. Angry Mark, what are your thoughts of the promo, the match, and what you thought of the SummerSlam match?
The promos back and forth were kind of weak. It was just there. As for the match, it was okay, pretty decent. And by the way, whoever that last guy's name was talking, I gotta admit, I was going to laugh when you said Enzo Amore could drive in the Attitude Era until I realized you were serious. But yeah.
No, because he would thrive in the Attitude Era because he would have a lot.
Not much to say.
Yeah, and that's the problem with the WWE nowadays is they don't get a right to say anything. If they got to say PG stuff to the little kids, it's like stupid.
Dean Ambrose just admitted that he's got freedom, and Enzo also has freedom. There's a lot of, believe it or not, there's a lot more freedom in the WWE than what people think. You just gotta reach a certain level with the company.
No, the way the promo looked scripted to me. I mean, like they weren't speaking their mind. They were just saying like it was off. They were reading off the scripts. They should go out there and pretty much say what's on their mind.
All right, so we'll go ahead and get
Each their own, I guess.
All right, so Angry Mark, you weren't too intrigued by the match then. So we'll go ahead and go to your buddy Terrence. Terrence, you have anything to say about this?
It was okay, I suppose. The match was whatever. But I am looking forward to the match at SummerSlam, though. I think Owens, Jericho, and Enzo and Cass are entertaining. I think the match can be solid, so yeah, we just gotta wait and see how they built this shit up for next week, I suppose. But everything else for Raw last night was decent, so yeah.
All right, so we'll go ahead and go to Kristen. Kristen, what'd you think of the promo? What'd you think of the match? What do you think about the SummerSlam match being a tag team match?
I liked the promos. They were talking back and forth with each other. It was good. And when they got in the ring, Chris Jericho was talking the talk, but he couldn't wrestle. And then the wrestling match for SummerSlam is going to be a good one, I think. So, and I rated it 8 for the match.
Okay, so you rated it 8. So what do you think about the SummerSlam match then between Jericho and Kevin Owens versus Enzo and Big Cass?
It's going to be a good match.
Okay, so you're intrigued by it.
Yes.
Okay, Kristen, thank you for your input. Now we'll go to Kev's point of view. Kev's point of view, do you have anything you want to add to all this? So obviously you know the question I'm asked, so I'm just waiting on your answer.
The promos were good back and forth. Enzo and Cass, I agree with Matt. Enzo and Cass would work wonders in the Attitude Era. They should be tag team champions right now, in my opinion. They should be feuding with Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. That's just my opinion on it. The Jericho Kevin Owens thing is pretty funny. I don't know if y'all guys noticed, but Jericho's leaving after SummerSlam. So I don't expect Jericho and Owens to win this, and I expect Owens to turn on him. I tell you what, Steven, if it was me, I'd drop all 4 of them like that.
And how do you know he's leaving?
Jericho announced it on his Twitter. He's going back to do Fozzy.
He'd rather do his band than do a crappy show.
Yeah, exactly. The match was okay, though. I'll give it that.
Okay.
All right, Steven.
I think Steven forgot to unmute his
Sorry.
mic.
Antonio was trying to get on, but he's saying he's having a hard time. So anyways, I guess we're already past this, so we'll go ahead and go to the next one. Sasha Banks requests a handicap match at SummerSlam. Mick Foley grants her a match later on that night against Dana Brooks, and the terms are if Sasha loses the match, it becomes a handicap match at SummerSlam, but if she wins, Dana Brooks gets barred from ringside in her match against Charlotte. Just wanted to add that in. I don't want y'all to really comment on that. It's just part of the segment, so we'll go ahead and go to the next one. Braun Strowman defeats Gerald Nelson in a squash match. Is there anything you guys want to add to this? I mean, this is just kind of typical 90s style where they put a big guy on a really small guy in an effort to push the bigger guy. Are you guys really intrigued by this? I mean, is there something they could do more with this Braun Strowman team?
I'll just say all these squash matches. When you see Braun Strowman going up against these unknown locals, I mean, it's pretty much a piss break for everybody. So, I mean, nobody cares. Everybody knows what's going to happen.
All I have to say is jobber matches don't really get anyone over nowadays. It's, you know, if there's one thing that's irrelevant when it comes to the pro wrestling business, it's jobber matches, because people know, you know, that it's fixed. You know what I mean? So people automatically just think, oh, okay, so they're trying to build this guy, yay. You know what I mean? Personally, you know, Braun Strowman would have thrived more in an actual storyline, but you know, that's just me, I guess.
No, he would.
Okay. Angry, go ahead. Go ahead, Terrence.
I like the concept of the whole jobber matches and the enhancement matches. The only thing I don't want them to do is, I don't want to see like 6 months from now Braun Strowman friggin' doing squash matches every week on Raw. I think this should only be happening short term, and maybe go on and probably move up the card and facing off against guys who are, you know, let's say it goes from like jobber to like maybe lower card to mid card, and you know, built him up properly instead of just having him do this whole jobber matches for good several months. You know what I'm saying? Because then it just gets boring. But I do like the concept of it, so yeah.
Okay, next is Kristen. What did you think of the Braun Strowman match? Is there anything you even want to add to this? Like, do you like these squash matches? Do you think that Strowman should be fighting better? Like, do you think he should move up the card and be fighting like more legit wrestlers to kind of give him more prestige, or do you like where it's at, or what do you think they're going with this?
He should fight somebody his own size, his own weight, instead of the small guys, and it would be better matches if he does. Like, I think. That's what I think about the match. So.
Okay. Kev, is there anything you want to add to this?
I actually agree with Terrence. I actually like the jobber stuff. To be honest with you, if he's really going to get over with a jobber, he needs to fight Barry Horowitz and Brooklyn Brawler if he got those two. But honestly, when I see Braun Strowman, he should have kept that submission move. I think that submission move is better than that reverse choke, in my opinion. But if they're going to put him against somebody, it should be against Big Show.
Yeah, I agree. I think probably the end goal, and I'll probably make a bold prediction here, is that I think when Big Show retires, the person that's probably going to retire him is Braun Strowman. I think that's the end goal there, which I do not mind. I think it makes perfect sense to me. So yeah.
Did someone just say we're gonna get Braun Strowman versus Big Show, or at least they want that to happen?
Dude,
No,
I
I
think
just
at
said
the
I
end.
just said it. I just said it would be a cool retirement thing for a Big Show if that happened.
I don't know if you want to retire though, knowing that that match is like at least 9 out of 10 gonna be garbage. It's really gonna be like, oh boy. But
Yeah, but you got to give Braun Strowman some kind of prestige, though. Like, if not him, then you got to put him up against another bigger guy like Mark Henry or the mid Carter or something.
Braun
yeah,
Strowman versus
I understand that, but I just don't think Big Show and Braun Strowman. I don't think that's the way to go. And I like Braun Strowman. I just think a Big Show match ain't gonna help him much, even if it is a retirement match.
Okay, what match would you like to see then against Braun Strowman?
Let's see. That's a hard. That's hard. I guess Braun Strowman versus Finn Balor.
Big versus small?
That's the best. Yeah, that's the best one I can think of on the spot.
Okay, all right. Well, since we've already discussed this Braun Strowman guy enough, we'll move to the next match. Darren Young defeats Titus O'Neil. This is the second week in a row they fought now. I don't know where this is going, and I don't know if this is leading to a SummerSlam match, but is this something? Let's pretend it is. Is this something you guys want to see? Darren Young versus Titus O'Neil again for the fifth time?
No.
No, I like the Darren Young character, but no. As a matter of fact, I would have made sure that Titus O'Neil and Darren Young never touched each other at least for the next 2 to 3 years, because this was too much of a predictable feud. Like you just had the feeling that they were gonna have Darren Young and Titus touch at some point, and it's just one of those things where I think Darren Young and Titus O'Neil can both do better things if they don't face each other for a while.
All right, so Christian, what do you think about this, like this Titus O'Neil Darren Young match? Anything you want to add to it? Did you like it? Are you intrigued? You think it's going to SummerSlam? What are your whole thoughts on this?
I didn't like it. I gave it a 0 for the match. Didn't really like it at all. They shouldn't have them fight anymore. I think that'd be better.
Mainly because they've already been fighting a lot, right?
Yeah.
Do you see this going anywhere? Is this kind of a filler, or do you think they're going to push a SummerSlam match between these two guys?
Probably SummerSlam. They're going to have a match.
I don't see why. They've already fought. Okay, so Kev, what are your thoughts about it? Do you have any?
I'm just waiting for Bob Backlund to snap and put them both in the crossface chicken wing. But actually, the match is boring. The storyline's boring with this. They could do so much better. I liked them better when they were both a tag team with the primetime players. But honestly, to be honest with you, I would have put Darren Young on SmackDown. I wouldn't have put them both on Raw. That's just my opinion. I really don't give 2 fucks less about the match.
Terrence, talk to me. Should they bring the primetime players back?
At this point, yeah, sure. And if they're gonna bring them, if I want them to bring them as a tag team, yeah, sure. And then have them go to SmackDown because they do need some tag teams over there. But I do, and if they want to add Bob Backlund to it, and they can do the whole "let's make primetime players great again." I think that would be cool too. I like that the Darren Young make Darren Young thing. I actually like it a lot. And if they can do it with the primetime players and have that going, it'll be pretty cool too.
So, TTC face off, man. You're the last one on them.
Yeah, what's up?
What are they doing with Titus O'Neil? What are they doing with it? I mean, like, where are they going with this shit?
I feel like they're just pretty much trying to fill up the hour, like the time. Pretty much wasting time with some quick match or something. That's what I feel like they're trying to do. Like, well, it's kind of like the past 2 weeks. And plus, later on, the show had another match that happened last week too. But that match was pretty good, though. I would say that. But this one, it's like they're wasting their time with this. I feel like they're not being as good. They're not good rivalries. I feel like they're better as teammates. I feel like they could do a little bit better as teammates than they do as rivals.
Okay, I can agree with that. So we'll go ahead and kick off to the next segment. Seth Rollins comes out, cuts a promo on Finn Balor, and it felt like it seemed like this was going forever. It seemed like Seth Rollins was reminding us and reiterating what happened last week, which we've already known. For most wrestling fans, already seen the show. Then he even replay some of the stuff the guy says, and we're like, okay, where's this going? And it's just some long promo. It felt like, to me, a boring-ass promo from Seth Rollins trying to sell or oversell the SummerSlam match with Finn Balor. Like, I felt like this show was already going towards that route where they were overselling and making these promos really long, trying to oversell it. And it was like, to me, I felt like it was very bland, and I didn't feel like I was really intrigued to see this match now that I saw this promo, but I know where they're going with it at the same time. Anything you want to add to this TTP face-off?
I felt like it would have been better if they had like the confrontation or something. That would have been way better than having like a long promo. But I could see why they always, like I said, it goes back to the same reason why they did that match the same match last week, just to fill in time. It seems.
All right, Angry Mark, anything you want to add to that Seth Rollins promo?
It was horrible. I had no idea where you could go with it. Like, fuck, you mentioned Michael Phillips, Demons, and other shit like that. Like, bro, like, I have no idea where the fuck you're trying to go with this promo. It's just everywhere, you know what I mean?
I mean,
Like,
if they were going to make it like he's bringing up the demon, then wouldn't it be epic if he came out as a demon and then confronted him?
but you don't want to waste the demon, though, before SummerSlam. Though, that's kind of one of the big things that's selling.
Or kind of like a sign, like give him a sign that he's coming.
I think they did do that, which we'll get to later on with the segment they had with Finn Balor.
So, Terrence, come on in and chime in on this, man. What are your whole thoughts about the Seth Rollins promo? Was it over? Did you like it? Did you enjoy the promo? Are you intrigued to see this match?
I'm intrigued in seeing the match. I think the match will be really good, but wasn't really Seth Rollins' best promos. And this is kind of one of the problems where I feel about with Seth Rollins with promos. Like, ever since his injury, he's been cutting a lot of great promos. But I always remember before his injury, especially when he was the champ, you would remember every week he would start off Raw, and it would be long-ass promos, and 95% of his promos would be just talking about random shit or talking about himself, and 5% of it is him just getting to the point. You know what I mean? And this was just one of those promos, which aren't really good. You know, long rambling promos of someone talking about whatever does not sell a match. To me, you're just overselling it where you're trying to make it a little bit more disinterested than anything else. I thought last week's promo session with Balor and Rollins was solid, but this week it was just like, what are you talking about? You're talking about like Rambo, I don't know what the fuck he was talking about, Rambo or some shit with the Braves and Anaheim, all some mixture shit. I don't really know what the hell's going on. Yeah, so it was just all over the place, and it's like,
Highway to hell.
Yeah, so to be perfectly real, it wasn't Seth Rollins' best night on the microphone. It was just a lot of random Rambo shit, man. So it is what it is.
Kristen, chime in on this. Like, what do you think of the Seth Rollins promo and your whole thoughts on it?
It was boring. It was a boring promo and everything. I didn't like it too much.
What was one of the reasons why you didn't like it?
Because he kept on talking about the match for SummerSlam, and I don't care to listen. I want to watch instead of listening to him.
So you're saying he just kept overdoing it?
Yeah.
Okay, so Kev, you want to add anything to it?
I agree with Angry Mark 110%. Seth Rollins absolutely sucked on the mic this week. I mean, I don't know what the hell he was talking about. The Braves have nothing to do with your match with Finn Balor. Michael Phelps has nothing to do with your match against Finn Balor at SummerSlam. I mean, there should have been a confrontation. I like the build-up. The match is going to be really good. But honestly, I think they are teasing the Demon. And I agree, save the Demon until SummerSlam. But what they could do on Raw next week is have the Demon appear and then disappear. And they could do like almost kind of like an Undertaker-esque type of deal with him. But honestly, Seth Rollins needs to put the little blonde streak back in his hair so he could be smart again.
All right, so now that everybody's pretty much chimed in on it, we're going to go ahead and go to the next one. Cesaro defeats Sheamus with a roll-up pin after Sheamus was distracted by the referee, was complaining about the 3 count, and Cesaro took advantage of it and ended up winning the match. What do you guys think of Cesaro and Sheamus heading into SummerSlam? Like, do you think these guys are going to get a big match against somebody, or what do y'all think overall about this? We'll start with TCC's face-off.
Honestly, I don't know. It seems like it's going to be like a rivalry, honestly. Because, like, Cesaro lost, I mean, it's not kind of spoiled at the end, but Cesaro lost against Rusev for the U.S. title at the end. So, I mean, it feels like it's going to be a rivalry because Sheamus tried to come down and interfere. So, that's why I feel. And honestly, the match, the way I see the match is, I mean, it was an okay fight, I guess.
All right, Angry Mark?
Don't give a shit. They're both boring. Pass.
Terrence?
Solid match, but there's not really any point to this, to be perfectly fair. You know, and they're probably going to have a match at SummerSlam. To be perfectly real with you, how many times you've seen Sheamus versus Cesaro on pay-per-view? They can put on good matches, but then what? There's no point to it. So, yeah.
All right, so Kristen, is there anything to add to it? Like, in other words, would you be looking forward to seeing the Sheamus Cesaro match at SummerSlam?
The SummerSlam, no, I don't think it's gonna be a good match because I don't like them, and the wrestling is not good either. So I didn't really care for it.
Well, Cesaro's a good wrestler.
Yeah, the match wasn't.
Okay. All right. Well, see, you disagreed with me on that. All right, so Kev, is there anything you want to add to this?
I only got one thing to say. Sheamus, you fucking suck, okay? You need to get the F out of the goddamn WWE. Get the F out of the ring. I agree with Angie Mark. I didn't give a fuck about this match. Cesaro deserves better than this, and I pass.
What are you talking about there? What, did my bro kick not impress you?
No, son. I would take that stupid haircut you got and drop you on your stack of dimes you call it next, son.
Nope. All
Well, I
right,
tell you what, fella.
I think it's going to be more some people some more. I was excited to see the Dudley Boys come out. All right, I was. I said, man, that's pretty cool. The Dudley Boys are coming out. I'm going to get mildly excited. Neville comes out and says, I have a secret partner. So I'm thinking like it's either some part-timer that's coming back or some main eventer or something. And guess who comes out? Fucking Sin Cara. Are you fucking kidding me? Even Bubba Ray had to say, this is your fucking surprise opponent. Neville's like, yeah, man. Like, trying to sell like Sin Cara as a badass motherfucker. Anyways, as a result, Neville and Sin Cara defeat the Dudley Boys. We'll go ahead and I'm going to mix it up this time. We'll start with Kev's point of view. What was your whole thoughts on this whole, like, Sin Cara being the mystery guy and the whole match result?
I'd rather watch paint dry on the wall. There you go.
So what do you think about Sin Cara being the secret wrestler?
Sin Cara couldn't even start. You know, like Sin Cara couldn't even wrestle his way out of anything. This Sin Cara sucks, and they need to put him in a cruiserweight division when it comes. He doesn't deserve to be in there with those guys, and I don't like what WWE's doing to the Dudleys. I really don't.
Maybe because they don't have a cruiserweight division.
They do on Raw, it just hasn't came yet.
Okay, so hey, Kristen,
Yeah.
what'd you think about Sin Cara being the secret wrestler?
I don't like Sin Cara, but Neville was good.
Okay, you like bigger vampire Neville.
Yeah, the match was okay though. Not that good, but
Okay, so you didn't
Yeah.
like Sin Cara as a secret wrestler? He was a secret entry.
no, that he should have picked somebody better.
Secret entry.
Somebody better and good. Go with
Yeah,
Neville.
I know. I wasn't intrigued by you. You did like the match?
Yes.
Nah, it was all right. So,
Yeah.
Terrence, man, chime in on this, man. What do you think of Sin Cara, the top secret wrestler?
Sin Cara, man, Out of all people, Sin Cara.
He's a top secret wrestler.
The only thing that's a secret about Sin Cara is that the secret is what the hell is he doing for the last 3 weeks?
Better yet, what's he done the last 3 years?
That's my
They
thoughts
just
on
remembered they
that.
have him on the roster. They just remembered they have him on the roster.
Isn't Sin Cara like another person? Like he was somebody before a long time ago, and now there's like a new guy in his suit.
Yeah, it's Unico. Yeah. So that's my thoughts on this whole thing, man.
And
The
you
match
can't-
is whatever, but
you can't even
Sin-
the same guy in the suit. Any remark? Is there anything you want to add to this? Is the secret character revealed?
Yeah, well, for people that don't know, Sin Cara used to be portrayed by Mystices, who went back to Mexico to wrestle for the MML, and now, Sin Cara is Unico. But, I think I'm the only one that's going to be on the opposite. I think I'm the only one that's thinking different on this. Like, it's a new era, so I'm trying to keep an open mind to all the new talent. Basically give all of them a fresh start, at least in my mind. So it wasn't too hilarious for me when I saw Sin Cara be revealed as the mystery guy. As a matter of fact, I think it helped Sin Cara. But I did get a little chuckle when the Dudley Boys were telling Neville, hey, we're going to break your neck, son. And then, Sin Cara showed up. He botches a lot. Like, no, he could break your neck, motherfuckers. But, yeah. By the way, man, Sin Cara, he's been chewing on them Cheetos, man. The time's been off, and he gained a little weight.
Yeah, I noticed that. He put on some package. And it ain't muscle. Something else. So TTC face-off, what do you think of the secret character being Sin Cara?
Oh, God. Honestly, this is the part where I fell asleep at. Because this match is, like, really boring. And who won the fight? Was it Sakara?
Neville.
Yeah, I think that's when I started waking up when Sakara and Neville won. I was like, oh, thank God the match is open now. Now you can have it.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and speed past this. This is my favorite part of the night on Raw. My favorite part on Raw. Rusev and Lana cut a kind of like a pre-wedding ceremony. They come out. Lana says that the fans were not invited because it was VIP members only. First of all, she was trolling because nobody that's not WWE affiliated, like Wrestler is probably invited anyway. So nice troll job. And number two, I thought it was kind of like taking old Attitude Era jabs at the fans, making fun of them. I thought that was cool and funny. And then Rusev says, you better respect my wife. And because everyone's starting to boo. The fans are chanting boring because they show a couple pictures of the wedding. They didn't really show too much. And then he said, that's all. That these are only pictures we have. If we have any more, we'll let you see them. The fans are continuing to boo. So Lana grabs the mic and says that the Americans can't afford a one-bedroom apartment, which there probably is some truth to that, depending on what part of the United States you live in, or depending on your income level. And she said, let alone a beach, which she's taking a jab, and I thought that was kind of funny. I'm not going to lie, I laughed. So Rusev says, be quiet. The fans are not quiet. Lana then wants the crowd to take their picture phones out, or camera phones, start taking pictures of, I guess they're going to have, they're going to redo their wedding vows, and they want people to take pictures and hit the record button. And anyways, Rusev says that the Americans are pigs and that they're just jealous because no one was pulling their phones out. Only a couple of fans were pulling them out, but not everybody was. But anyways, Roman Reigns comes out, and Roman Reigns kind of has this different strut to the ring. It's almost sort of like he's almost like developing himself into a silent heel. It seems like they're transitioning into that, but they're trying to see how they're going to do that. The fans are booing him, which is no secret. Then he says no one was Rusev's best man, and he wanted to offer a toast, and then Rusev says, I don't want your toast, get out of here. So then Roman issues a challenge at SummerSlam for the title. Rusev denies the challenge. There was an exchange of blows as a result, like later on, a couple minutes after that. And then Lana was pushed into the cake. Cake was all over her. And that was pretty much the end of the segment. I want to know. We're going to start off. I'm going to mix it up this time. We're going to start off with Terrence. What did you think about that whole segment in
I
its
have to,
entirety?
I have to agree with you. That was the best thing in the entire show. And to be fair, I know a lot of people shit on this guy with his promo ability, and kind of rightfully so. Rusev did great, Lana did great, but I thought Roman Reigns did a pretty good job with his promo. He was actually a lot more relaxed, not so monotoned, not heavily scripted. He was more of himself. And I felt like the crowd was kind of a bit cheering him, which was cool. So yeah, and I'm kind of digging with this whole U.S. Championship thing with Roman and Rusev, and I think they can put on a really good match for SummerSlam. So I thought this was the best part of the entire show by far. And Roman's promo, really good stuff. If they just let him be himself, man, he can do so much wonders, man. Just saying. So yeah, really good stuff.
All right, so Kev, man, fill it in since you're so eager to say something. Fill it in on that promo, man, on that whole segment.
Well, something, Steven, man. I think that was the best thing of the night, man. I agree with you there, dude. One thing I like about Roman Reigns, man, is the fact that he was actually himself, dude. He didn't give a fuck about what those fans said, man. He actually was actually funny. I hope this match is good at SummerSlam. I really do, brother.
Oh yeah. Yeah, now
All right,
just
so
sniffing
in
off the
your
coke.
part, man, fill us in, man. What did you thought about the whole segment? What did you think about Roman Reigns, his part in it as well?
Yeah. Hold on. I got Bret Hart here with me. Bret Hart, what do you give that segment? Okay, yeah. He says he gives your Hulk Hogan promo a 4 out of 10. Anyway, it was very predictable, so I didn't really get into it. It was just there, really. To me, it was one of the low parts of Raw. Like, literally, it was just whatever. I mean, I got to see Lana in a fucking dress, which was nice. You know what I mean?
That was
Definitely
hot.
I paid attention to her during the whole segment. There was one time at the entrance where she raised her dress up a little bit just to give you a peek at what's under there. I was like, damn. But yeah.
So, Kristen, what did you think about the whole segment with the Lana falling in the cake and then the cheap shots she was taking at the fans and the Roman Reigns part? What were your whole thoughts of that whole segment?
It was funny when she got thrown into the cake. It was funny. That was funny, and that was a good. I liked it. It was the best part of Raw. And Roman Reigns came out. That was great. Seeing him in the match. And
You know what's one thing that was funny that Roman Reigns said, and I'm going to go ahead and go to Matt Ogden.
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing that Roman Reigns said was that when he said that she was my wife, she's all mine, Rusev was saying that, and then he said, and then Roman Reigns told him, well, if you can't do it right, like you don't want to have fun, I'm not having fun. Just like on her wedding night, you couldn't get the job done. Was taking an insult towards his private area. And I feel like the crowd went, ooh, that was kind of funny. So, Matt Ogden, what were your whole thoughts on that whole segment?
I mean, I kind of agree with the other dude when he said it was pretty much predictable, but I mean, it was kind of funny in a way. I mean, at the same time, it was kind of predictable at the same time, too.
You're a Sami Zayn fan, huh? Or a freaking Daniel Bryan fan? I don't know which.
Or Daniel Bryan puts both hands up at the same time.
Oh yeah, and by the way, apparently the baker that made the cake for the Roman and Rusev and Lana segment, apparently they quit their job because they were tired of doing cake just for them to get ruined.
They were tired of what?
I said apparently the baker who made the cakes for the Rusev, Lana, and Roman segment quit their job as a baker for WWE because they were tired of them making cakes and shit just for them to get trashed on the segment.
Yeah, I noticed that.
It's kind of a waste of a cake, too, so.
Damn, so he quit just because he got tired of how the cake was being used? But the thing was he's still getting, I'm sure he's still getting paid, right?
Right.
Maybe it's more of a respect thing, you know?
Yeah, it is.
All right, so let me ask you guys a question. It's kind of off topic. What do y'all think about Roman Reigns' character, like, as of today? Like, hate him, love him, what's your whole thoughts?
I I'm still a fan of him. Uh, been a fan of his since the Shield days or whatever. He's not really the perfect wrestler. He's not the perfect wrestler in the world, but not everyone is. But I feel like he's pretty underrated as an in-ring performer. I think he's had a lot of great matches. Um, his promo ability, needs some work, much like a lot of people on the main roster as well. It's not just him, but whenever they let him just be himself or just let him do some ass-kicking stuff, then that's the stuff that really gets him over. So underrated as an in-ring performer. A lot of people don't really give him credit for having good matches. But yeah, that's basically my thoughts on Roman Reigns. I like the Roman Reigns character. I think he's cool.
All right, Angry Mark.
For people that obviously see my profile picture, I'm a big fan of Roman. He's different for today's wrestling. Every wrestler on the roster just flips and kicks, which is part of the reason why I think it's boring. Because like every match feels the same. But with Roman, he brings that thing that the roster's been missing, which is some intensity, some of that strong style in the ring, and that presence where you automatically know like, oh shit, this guy can legit fuck somebody up. And he has the look too. And I agree with Terrence. His in-ring work is very underrated. People don't like to give him credit for his matches. He's one of the most crisp and strong wrestlers you'll probably ever watch in today's generation. And to be honest, he kind of got fucked by the fans. Let's be honest. If that was anybody else that started on with Triple H, the fans would be all over that shit, man. And it's just sad that this dude had to go back to the mid card just because the fans didn't want to push him at that time. But and it's very hypocritical too of the fans that didn't say shit when Finn Balor got shoved down our throats and became a contender in one night. But
to be fair, it's not just that feud. I felt like it was kind of like that, like a year ago as well, with the whole Royal Rumble 2015 debacle as well. Everybody has an opinion about that, and obviously around that time the Royal Rumble match sucked. Let's just call it like it is. But I think just a lot of people sometimes don't like Roman Reigns because they have this fear of him being the next John Cena or his run will be suck. But it never happened yet, or you think he's not ready. It is what it is, I suppose. But yeah, it's just
that's the part I don't see though. It's like everyone's like, oh, he's gonna be John Cena 2.0. Yet if that was true, he would have beat Brock Lesnar. He would have beat Triple H. He would have won the Royal Rumble. It's like literally, like I will never get the John Cena compare because to be honest, I think they're stupid.
Yeah. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to the next segment. So Sasha defeats Dana Brooks. No surprise, Dana's banned from ringside, so now it's going to be officially Sasha Banks versus Charlotte at SummerSlam. But I feel like there's still something odd with this because I think that somehow Ric Flair is going to return and sort of try to interfere. That's what I'm getting from this. We'll go ahead and start off with Kev. Do you have any thoughts about this match at SummerSlam? Dana Brooks not being at ringside, does it really make a difference?
Yeah, before I get into that, what you guys were talking about with Roman Reigns, I absolutely agree with Angry Mark and Terrence. I mean, he is a very underrated wrestler. He is a very fast, big guy, but he's very crisp. He's got real punches. I mean, like, his punches look like they're more devastating than most of the guys on the roster. And, I think Roman Reigns has actually has had some good matches, actually. But to answer your question about Charlotte and Sasha, if it's anything like they did on Raw about 2 or 3 weeks ago, it's going to be a good match between the two ladies. Let's not go overboard with it, but I do think that they were kind of teasing a promo saying that Nia Jax might want the winner of that. And I don't know if Nia is ready for a big title like that. That's just my opinion. But if Ric Flair shows up, it would be kind of funny if Ric Flair actually screws Charlotte, though.
Wow. So what do you think, TCC Face-Off? You want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty good fight. I feel like, though, that Sasha should win the fight because I feel like she's a better champion than Charlotte, because basically when Charlotte was champion, all she did was, like, she never really defended her title. I feel like Sasha would be more of a fighting champion than her. And I feel like if Ric Flair did interfere, I would feel he probably would interfere on Charlotte's part. But it would be funny if he did interfere on Sasha's part.
Okay, Angry Mark, you want to add anything to this SummerSlam match between Sasha and Charlotte with Dana being barred from ringside?
I'm kind of looking forward to it. I can't say there's not a part of me that's not interested in it. But I just feel like it's been kind of lackluster. But then again, it's only been like a few weeks of build, so I guess they can get a pass on that. But yeah, I'm just kind of looking forward to it.
Kristen, you want to add anything to it? I think she signed off. All right, well, let's go ahead and TTC face-off. You already commented on it, right, or no?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and go to the next segment then. There's a segment between Mick Foley and Daniel Bryan, because obviously Daniel Bryan's invited onto the show. And Mick calls out Daniel Bryan for what he said on a podcast on a Smackdown Live interview, where he was saying, oh, we're having real titles here, not like Raw where they're having the Milky Way Galaxy and the Sun Belt Galaxy Belt, tag team and blah, 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 blah. And anyways, Rusev comes out and says, we don't need a champion. I'm the only champion we need, blah, blah, blah. And then Daniel Bryan then cuts him off and says, oh, you're just trying to get out of your match at SummerSlam. How lame. And then Rusev said, I'll crush you like the SmackDown bug you are. Then Cesaro comes out, his music hits, and he comes out and he says he deserves a shot at the title because he won a match against Sheamus that night, and he won the week before that when he was first promised it. And Mick Foley said, well, your time will come. And he said, well, I guess you're not a man of your word. And then Daniel Bryan said, I just want to add in that you're being very unutilized on Raw. And anyways, Mick Foley ends up saying, I am a man of my word. And you know what, Cesaro, you will have your match right now against Rusev for the United States title. And if Cesaro wins, then it'll go to SummerSlam. So anyways, the match takes place, and Rusev defeats Cesaro after Sheamus interferes in the match. So I just want to get your guys' thought on the match. Do y'all have anything to add to it?
It was a waste of time.
Rusev and Roman Reigns.
It was a waste of time, to be perfectly real. This whole Daniel Bryan thing showing up at the end was a waste. The U.S. title match was a waste. And it was just basically a complete waste of time. Like, it really was. The match, the match was whatever, but I knew once Sheamus came in, I was like, okay, he's gonna get caught. Cesaro's gonna get screwed over. Rusev retains, and then Roman was gonna get the big spear or something like that towards the end, or whatever. Which made Roman look strong, I suppose, and Rusev has another win under his belt with his U.S. Championship thing. But everything else was just a complete waste of time. I don't know why they did this. I felt like they should have just done this in the friggin' opening part of the show than the end of it. To be perfectly real, to be perfectly honest with you, overall it's just a complete waste of time.
All right, Angry Mark.
It was a waste of time because throughout the night they were basically advertising, well, Daniel Bryan, the SmackDown GM, gonna be on Raw. So you're assuming, okay, something big's gonna go down. You know what I mean? And it just turned out to be like whatever. And also, I did not. And I'm notorious for pointing this out on the Wrestling Express podcast. I didn't like Rusev's ring psychology. Actually, I'm not the ring psychology, but his psychology in general. Like you would think that hey, like Rusev should have been like, dude, this dude I'm pissed off right now. You don't want to fuck with me, okay? That I just had this one motherfucker come and ruin me and my wife's celebration here on Raw. My wife is in cake because some motherfucker decided to push her into it. You know what I mean? Like, he should have just been really pissed off and said to Daniel Bryan and Cesaro, like, you don't want to fuck with me, man, because I'll fucking kick your ass right now. That's how pissed I am. But he was just like, I'll curse you like a bug. You know what I mean? It's just kind of poor psychology.
All right, TTC face-off.
When we talk about the main event?
We're talking about the Mick Foley Daniel Bryan segment where he calls out Daniel Bryan for the podcast he said about the defense of the titles, and then Rusev comes out, and then Cesaro then comes out, and then they end up having a match, and then Rusev ends up winning.
Yeah,
You have any thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, it was kind of like pretty much a waste of time for Daniel Bryan to come. I mean, I felt like there was going to be like some kind of epic interference between somebody. It was just like basically time filling gap or something, I guess.
Oh, okay, so what are your thoughts of the Rusev Roman Reigns match at SummerSlam for the United States title?
I mean, it's probably going to be a decent fight, I guess. I mean, it's not going to be too hyped, too underrated, too overrated. I mean, but I mean, the fight between Cesaro and Rusev was pretty good, but we all knew the outcome was going to be Rusev wins because of some bullshit. So.
All right, Kev, is there anything you want to add to it?
The match, the whole thing was basically garbage, really. I mean, there was no point for Daniel Bryan to be on there. I mean, they shouldn't be doing Raw versus SmackDown. Let that be Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar. Foley and Daniel Bryan have nothing to do with it. And I agree with Angry Mark. I mean, like, you have to look at it from a point of to an aspect is that if that was your wife or that was your girl and some dude interrupted your event like that, you would want to come down there and beat the holy hell out of people. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. And that's what they need to do with Rusev. They need to make him more of a monster. And the match was okay. I kind of expected Sheamus to come out there, but I have to admit, though, that was a pretty wicked spear from Roman Reigns. I have to give Roman Reigns that.
So, Christian, you want to add anything to this main event segment where the Daniel Bryan and Mick Foley had a segment going on, and then Rusev came out, then Cesaro comes out, then it's announced as a main event match, which takes place right there, and then Rusev ended up defeating Cesaro after Sheamus interfered. You have anything you want to add to that?
Not really.
What do you think of the Rusev match? What do you think of Rusev versus Roman Reigns at SummerSlam?
I think it's going to be a good match. Can't wait to see it.
Okay. So that pretty much ends the segment of Raw. What would you guys rate it from a 1 to 10? We'll start with TTC Face-Off.
Honestly, 4 out of 10.
I give it a 5. What about you, Angry Mark?
2 out of 10. I give it a Dunkster Drosy 2 out of 10.
Terrence?
I give it a Duke the
A
Dumpster
5.
Drosy 2 out of 10.
A 5.
Okay, Kristen, 1 out of 10. What do you give it?
9.
Kev, point of view?
4 out of 10.
All right, so that pretty much ends the Raw segment. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I thought Raw sucked. Especially like the opening segments, the long promos and all that. I almost felt myself taking a nap a couple times. It wasn't until the Lana Rusev segment until I really just woke the fuck up and was like, oh my god, this is pretty cool, pretty funny. I just wanted to add that in, so we're going to leave that off from there. We're going to go ahead and kick it off to SmackDown that just took place tonight. And so it showcases Randy Orton and Del Rio are in the back, and they're kind of beefing, and you can kind of tell this is leading to the match for the main event tonight, but it wasn't announced. Wyatt comes out and takes a couple of shots at Ziggler, saying you took everything from him. Wyatt says, I'm a god. You can't kill God. Blah, 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 blah. Sack religion right there. Ambrose comes out and tells him to get off his podium. Ziggler then comes running into the ring and gets jumped. Ambrose comes in to fight. A fight ensues. Ziggler kicks Ambrose by accident. And then Wyatt turns and Sister Abigail's Ziggler. So obviously, you know common sense applies. This is going to be the tag team match for later on tonight. So what are your guys' thoughts about the opening segment, TTC Face-Off? Okay, he's not there. We'll go with Angry Mark.
I like
Who
it.
you calling?
Oh, wanted to know what you thought about the opening segment with the.
Yeah, you were lagging a little bit. I couldn't understand you when you asked me. So, yeah, the opening segment was pretty good. I guess Bray Wyatt cut a pretty good promo when he talked about like Dolph Ziggler and them, and then like what Dolph Ziggler and Dean Ambrose go out and they brawl out. I mean, that was pretty good, I guess.
What'd you think, Angry Mark?
I liked it. Usually I hate Dean Ambrose and Dolph Ziggler, but they're showing some fire that it seems like they haven't shown either in a long time or not at all. Since being on SmackDown Live, they just seem rejuvenated and ready to go, man, and I like it.
I think they're trying to SmackDown. That's why those two stars right there. I mean, they're building up the rivalry. So.
Yeah, and I like the way this tied into the main event. So yeah, good segment.
So Terrence, you want to chime in on this? What you thought of the opening segment?
I thought the opening segment was good. It's set up for the main event, but even like from last week, we all predicted this match was going to happen as well. Not saying it was a bad thing, but at least it actually had their storyline continuity, which is great. Which that's the thing why I like about SmackDown this week is that even the past SmackDowns as well, there was always a hook and there's always a storyline that continues, which is great. Something that Raw lacked in the last couple of weeks. Which, overall, I thought the opening segment was actually really good. So, yeah.
Okay, so Kristen, what did you think of the opening segment between the Ambrose, Ziggler, and the Wyatt and Ambrose? Okay, her phone froze up, so we'll go with Kev's point of view.
Actually, I usually don't care either about Ziggler or Ambrose, but they are bringing some fire to this. I actually am looking forward to their match at SummerSlam. And Bray Wyatt's always been good on the mic. I don't understand why Bray Wyatt doesn't get pushed the way he should, honestly. But it was a pretty good in-ring segment. I actually think Ambrose is not that bad of a champ. Actually, gotta give him a little credit.
I have to agree. You know what I think? I think with this Wyatt interfering, is it just me, or do I think somehow Bray Wyatt's going to be inserted into this match as a triple threat?
No, I don't think they'll do that. I think they'd rather build it up between Dolph Ziggler and Dean Ambrose because they already set it up to fight the way it is. I do feel like he's going to probably be involved in the storyline, but I don't think he's going to be involved in the match.
Yeah, I don't think that at all. Maybe Bray Wyatt will face the winner of Dolph and Dean, but
yeah, that would be a pretty good one for them to fight at Backlash. The winner of the fight fights him.
What do you think, Terrence?
Yeah, it's the same here. But I do like the fact that Bray Wyatt has been basically like the main event heel on SmackDown, which is awesome because he's basically heavily featured on this one brand, which is great. So, yeah. But in terms of him being added to the match, I don't think so. It's a bit too late now. But hey, you never know.
What do you think, Kev, about the Wyatt involved in this? Do you think he'll be inserted into this triple threat match or no?
It's helped, but honestly, I think they'll wait until Backlash. But I wouldn't be surprised if Wyatt interferes in it somehow.
All right, so now we're done with that. So let me ask you guys a question. American Alpha defeated some guy named Matt Vega. I don't know who his tag team partner was.
Are they just local wrestlers?
Okay, they're local wrestlers. Ascension comes out, the Hyper Bros, the Vaughn Villains, they get in the ring, have a brawl. American Alpha is left in the ring. To me, is it just like, I understand that they gave the Hyper Bros like a tag team because they wanted to make like Zack Ryder relevant, but I don't know. To me, I wasn't sold on any of these tag teams. Like, you got the Ascension, who's pretty much been buried a long time ago. You got the Hyper Bros with two jobbers in the group. The Vaughn Villains with like basically Hitler's reincarnation again. And then you got American Alpha, which has some potential, but I feel like they're missing something, like Shelton Benjamin being part of this promo. If he didn't get hurt, I'm sure he would have been inserted into this. So I feel like it's just like four tag teams that are just kind of boring to me. I don't know. Maybe you guys got something different from this. I'll start with Angry Mark.
Well, this was just SmackDown saying, hey, these are our tag teams. These are the tag teams you're going to be watching while the brand split's happening. You know what I mean? It was just them showing off their tag team people, basically. And I like the American Alpha. Those guys are just really good.
What do you think of the Ascension, though, still being a tag team?
Again, I'm keeping, like I said, I'm keeping an open mind to this new generation, which meaning, I'm going to pretend like, they weren't buried before, you know what I mean? I'm going to see how they book them on SmackDown Live before I can give a proper judgment.
Okay, what do you think, Kev, of this?
Well, honestly, I think that's just basically showing, like they said, hey, this is our tag team, and I love the American Alphas. I actually am. I wish that they would have Kurt Angle be a part of them in some way, shape, or form. Which, I don't know if y'all heard about the Shelton Benjamin injury. He's actually got a torn rotator cuff, so now his return got pushed back.
Yeah.
So, but I think this is just a good tag team look. I mean, like, I'm actually looking forward to see what these guys do on SmackDown. Actually,
Terrence, you want to add anything on this?
Yeah, it was just basically a showcase of the tag team division. It may be weak right now, but hey, again, it's a fresh start. For all I know, all of these teams can actually be built up right. You never know. And I did like they did the whole brawling thing as well. It's basically what they did with the women's couple of weeks ago, but a lot better, a bit better. You know what I mean? So yeah, I thought it was okay.
All right, so TTC Face-Off, you want to add anything in on this?
I would say that the tag team division is weak on SmackDown, but you could build them up, right? I feel like American Alpha is going to be the big name tag team for the SmackDown now because how impressive they've been wrestling so far. So, I mean, they probably will be the big name for SmackDown in the tag team division. And if they do have tag teams, they'll probably, if they do bring in tag team titles, which they said they're going to bring in some new titles, if they are bringing in tag team titles, they'll probably be the champs.
All right, that sounds pretty legit to me. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go past this. Eva Marie versus Becky Lynch, and her wardrobe breaks, so it unfortunately cancels the match. Alexa Bliss comes out, answers the challenge, defeats Becky Lynch after Eva Marie kind of did a distraction with their entrance, and Alexa Bliss won on her birthday. They kind of threw that out there. I don't know if that really makes it any more relevant to the match, but I don't know if Matt was going to drop a pipe bomb on this particular one, but to me, I feel like Eva Marie is just a pretty face. I have so much to say about this shit. It's pissing me off that they have this bitch still on the roster because she has no talent. All she has is a look. You have fired guys like Drew McIntyre and other guys who were able to wrestle. For this bitch who has no ability to wrestle to still stay on the roster spot, you are absolutely crazy to keep this bitch on the roster spot. Excuse my language, but she has no skills. She has no mic skills. She has no in-the-ring ability. This gimmick they're giving her is basically a regurgitated, revised The Miz Hollywood look. That's what I think this is. They're giving her a little Miz Hollywood look with a little difference to it, like a red carpet stage kind of thing, like all eyes on you, kind of Kim Kardashian kind of, I don't know, kind of ordeal. But to me, I feel like it's not really selling. Her matches are canceling. Her last two matches canceled. I know they're booking her this way, but it's stupid and it's not entertaining. Where are they going with this? Somebody educate me, please. We'll start with Angry Mark.
I actually love the way they're booking Eva Marie. She's getting heat this way. It's really showing that she has a character. She kind of, I don't know if you're going to really fucking get pissed off at this when I say this, but the way she comes off is almost like a modern day female version of like Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff in a way. It's just like, it's really easy to get into. I love the heel that she's getting, and I see a lot of people on Twitter. They're starting to get into it now. They're finally realizing that Eva Marie actually does have a little bit of talent. Which, by the way, I was behind her. It really was. I literally thought she could be the number one heel right now.
Where are they going with this though?
I think they're going to build her up as to be the first ever SmackDown Women's Champion, which I'm all in for. And then maybe at WrestleMania she drops it to Bayley. But that's just my prediction.
Can she wrestle?
Well, obviously we haven't seen her wrestle in the main roster yet, but yeah, she's kind of decent from what I've seen in NXT. She's not terrible like some would make her out to be, but she does wrestle at somewhat of a slow pace, which I feel like will fit her character on the main roster really well. And again, that's basically her whole gimmick. She's playing off of what people hate about her, which is genius.
All right, you want to add anything to this, Terrence?
Yeah, what Angry Mark said. There's a purpose to this, which I like. And if they're gonna have Eva Marie be the first women's champion for SmackDown, I'm all for that too. It makes perfect sense. Um, so yeah, I think Eva Marie, it's all about more of the character more than the actual wrestler, where it's like she's getting a whole lot of heat, and I think this will benefit the women's division a bit more for SmackDown because now you have baby faces trying to get after her, and you can have her go as a long reign as the champ. You know, they say she's feuding with Becky Lynch or Bailey or insert babyface women's wrestler here. You know, I think it'll be beneficial. She can wrestle, but she ain't no Bailey. That's all I have to say. She's in, she's a work in progress. That's all I have to say in terms of her in-ring ability. She's a work in progress. But yeah, in terms of Alexa Bliss debuting, I like it. I like Alexa Bliss. She has a lot of potential. Um, and heck, if it's not going to be Eva Marie, I would like to see Alexa Bliss be the first SmackDown Women's Champ too. She has a lot of personality. She can actually go in the ring. I really like her, and she's hot.
All right, so Kev, you want to weigh in on this? Are we going to see Eva Marie wrestle at SummerSlam for the Divas title, or is this still going to be a work in progress until later on in the year?
Actually, I agree with Terrence and Mark. I actually like the way I love her entrance. I mean, like, the way they do that is pretty cool. She kind of does have that Mr. Wonderful vibe that Mark was talking about. I can actually see that. It'd be kind of cool if they added a power driver to her arsenal. She's pretty decent wrestler. She's gotten better. I mean, if you ever seen any of the NXT matches, Steven, she has gotten a little better. She's getting a lot of heat, which is perfect. My biggest problem with this whole thing is that wasn't Becky and Natalia just feuding like a week or two ago? It makes no just some of the booking decisions they do makes no sense. But the Alexa Bliss debut was good. And that to me, honestly, I actually wouldn't mind seeing them both as champ, either one of them.
All right, so Matt, you want to weigh on it?
All right, here it is, the pipe bomb of the century. I know people are going to be a lot pissed off about this, but the reason why she hasn't been wrestling in the past 2 weeks, pretty much, honestly, they're afraid she's probably going to botch a move or something. I mean, like you guys said, she's a pretty decent wrestler, but decent is like, she has to be really, really, like, not botch a move like Sin Cara did back in the Sin Cara days when they had to replace that dude with the other dude, so. That's the problem with her, and it feels like they're just trying to train her maybe before, like, so she doesn't watch a move. That's what it seems.
So Matt, you're going off to this gimmick. Basically, what you're saying is the reason why they're not having her wrestle yet is because they're afraid she's not going to be able to perform.
That's what I'm saying. Yep.
And I feel the same way.
And a lot of people are blinded by that. I mean, just because what she did in NXT. I mean, NXT is like the minor leagues. This is the major leagues now. This is WWE. You got to really perform at your top level, or you're gonna be like Ryback and be fucking botching moves and stuff, and then someone's gonna get injured.
So let me ask you guys this then. Angry Mark, do you think the look that Marie gives off, she can kind of get away with it more versus the other wrestlers who gets fired and do have potential talent in the ring?
What was the question again?
Do you think Eva Marie's look gives her a slight advantage over other wrestlers who have been fired in the past who have been good technical wrestlers in the ring?
In a way, yes, because that's part of the reason why people hate her. They're like, oh, she's only here because of her looks, you know. So yeah, to an extent, yeah. But I think it helps her character more than it does help her get a push. If you get where I'm going there.
My question is, if she is unable to perform in the ring, do you think WWE will pull the plug on this bitch?
That depends. If she gets a reaction every time she wrestles, then no. But if she's just like, if she just goes in the ring, people are just like, whatever, then yes, they'll pull the plug.
What do you think, Terrence? You want to add to that? Do you think that her look kind of gets her away? Kind of. Do you think she gets away with a little bit more versus the average wrestlers because of her looks? And
Yeah,
if
I
she
do. I
can't
I
out
agree.
wrestle, are they going to pull the plug on her?
Yeah, I agree because it's not just her. They've been doing that shit for years with a lot of the a lot of the divas, where they just come in and they're just models or whatever, and they try to make them as wrestlers, which is good, but it is what it is. But with the other question saying, if she doesn't, like, what was it? I forgot the other question you mentioned. Like, would
The other
WWE pull
question
the?
is, if she's unable to wrestle in the ring, will they eventually pull the plug?
Yes, I do believe so too, because you know WWE, sure, she has the look, and that's kind of the reason why WWE is pushing her. But again, much like Angry Mark said, it's a part of her character, it's part of the appeal, and I think it actually gets her over as a heel organically as well. But if she doesn't improve, then WWE is gonna freaking pull the plug on her, and she's just gonna get released, no matter what. And
All
I
right, so
firmly believe that.
based off, you want to chime in on that? Will they pull the plug eventually if she can't wrestle? And do you think she gets? Do you think her look kind of gets her away with some of the BS that she brings in the company versus other wrestlers who've been fired in the past for being talented in the ring?
Well, honestly, it depends. Like, if wrestling wise, yeah, they would pull the plug, but I mean, maybe they would try to use her as a manager or something. Maybe they'll try that out and see if it works. If it don't, then they probably would pull the plug. But yeah, I do think WWE uses her because basically her looks. It seems like mainly like she's just there because of her looks. Like, honestly, but I mean the entrance is good and all, but like what I want to see is what you can do in the ring. If you can't do anything in the ring, at least use you as a manager. I mean, use her as a manager, see how that works out. If it don't work out, then pull the plug. I mean, I'm not saying fully pull the plug because I mean, maybe she has potential of being a manager. Maybe she just wasn't meant to be a wrestler.
Do you want to add anything to this, Kev, before I go to the next segment? Do you think Eva Marie, this look kind of gets her away with a little bit more versus the average Joe in there that gets released?
To a degree, I agree with Mark and Terrence on the fact that it fits her character, it gives her heat. But they're also pushing her not because of her looks, but they're not just pushing her because of her look. Someone's echoing me here.
Not me.
Oh well, they actually it pushes her looks, but at the same time, it's also about the Total Diva show too, and they're trying to
Oh, I
promote.
never thought about that.
Yeah, they're trying to promote that show, and obviously Eva Marie is a part of that. I don't think they'll pull the plug on her just yet. If her wrestling career doesn't work, maybe she could be a manager of one of the wrestlers, or maybe she can be like a correspondent backstage, interviewing some of the wrestlers. There's some things that they could do with her. But if that doesn't work, then yeah, pull the plug.
All right, so we'll go ahead and go to the next segment. Randy Orton defeats Del Rio by disqualification. Del Rio gives a chair shot to Randy Orton's arm, and then Randy Orton also delivers an RKO to Del Rio. I just want to, first off, I want to say I actually was enjoyed by this match. I did say on my Facebook account that Randy Orton is overrated, and I do think to some extent he is. I think that they overhyped this guy. I think if it wasn't for his RKO, there's really nothing special about him. I mean, he's a good in-the-ring worker, but storyline-wise and promo-wise, he doesn't really sell. And I think this is sort of similar to the Batista situation where Batista came in, what year was it, and won the Rumble, and they just awarded it to him. I think this is sort of almost flirting along the lines with that, but the only difference was Randy Orton was out for 9 months via injury, so I give him some respect to that. But I think this Randy Orton-Brock Lesnar match is kind of a little overhyped. I'm going to be intrigued to watch it because this will be their second time fighting since 2003 in a squash match. I think it was on Smackdown, if I'm correct. But to me, I just feel like Randy Orton's a little overrated, in my opinion. But I felt like in terms of this match, I was actually kind of entertained by the match. So we'll go ahead and start off with Kev's point of view. What did you think about this the Randy Orton Del Rio match? And what are your thoughts about Randy Orton?
The match wasn't that bad. I mean, Randy Orton wrestles like a heel. mostly than he does a face. I mean, I like him better as a heel, anyways. Ever since Orton's come back, he's had a little bit of better time on the mic. He looks like he's having fun, which I haven't seen on Randy Orton in a while. This match between him and Brock Lesnar is going to be interesting. I mean, like, if you're just coming back from shoulder surgery, I don't know why you would want to fight Brock Lesnar. But, hey, you know, kudos to him. I'm looking to see what Randy Orton could do with this RKO. See if he can, like, you know, reverse it with one of the German suplexes or one of the F5s. I'm actually looking forward to it. The build-up's been pretty nice between them.
All right, Terrence, you want to add anything to it?
Yeah, much like what Kev said, man. I thought the match with Del Rio, I thought was really good. Usually these guys tend to have good matches with each other. In terms of the build of Brock and Orton, yeah, it's been pretty good. I'm really excited for the match, and Randy Orton. You mentioned that you thought Randy Orton's a bit overrated. I guess you can say that, but I feel like maybe part of that is because with WWE and a lot of people, when they think about Randy Orton, you think of him having a lot of potential, and maybe it's because he never really amounted to his full potential at times, if you know what I mean. Like, you know, he's always had great matches. He's always had a lot of great matches, but I feel like, you know, his push in the beginning back in like 2004 was extremely rushed because of the whole Lesnar situation, and whenever they were to give him opportunities when he was younger, he was F's it up. And Randy Orton has all, you know, when he wrestles in the ring, he can make little things seem so easy, and he's so slick and whatnot. But sometimes you just feel like you don't really see, he doesn't, you know, amount to his full potential, and that's why I think some people tend to think he's a bit overrated. Me personally, I don't think he's overrated at all. I think he's just fine where he is. So yeah.
All right, Angry Mark.
Well, I definitely would not say he's overrated. As a matter of fact, I would say he's more underrated. You're talking about a dude that he literally is, in my opinion, one of the top 50 wrestlers of all time. And yes, I do believe that. This dude, you know, he has a character. He has a nice finisher. He can tell a crisp story in the ring. He has charisma. I mean, like, literally, this dude is awesome. You know, I would love for him to, you know, wrestle for my company if I had one. And just wow. And the thing between him and Alberto was pretty cool. I like that they're hyping up the RKO. Like, you know, hey, even if Brock has a chair or whatever, he can still hit you with the RKO. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm just a really big Randy Orton fan, and I'm looking forward to Brock versus Randy at SummerSlam.
So, Matt, TTC, you want to add anything to this?
Yeah, I think Randy Orton's a pretty underrated wrestler. I mean, and I'll say this though. I mean, Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar, I think it's going to be a pretty good fight. And I'll say this: a lot of people will be thinking that Brock Lesnar's booked to win this fight. But honestly, I've got the feeling that they're going to book Randy Orton to win this fight, just so they can give him the big push of his return and get him ready for like more storylines and make him more a big name again. Because I feel like they would need that for SmackDown, for like a big star on there, more big stars.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and go to the next segment. I just want to add this in, not that I asked you guys to comment on it, but The Miz had a segment with Scooby-Doo, and Scooby-Doo ends up throwing him in the mystery van and taking off in the car. And I thought that was kind of funny. So, Scooby-Doo, where are you? I know it was like a kid's segment, but just want to throw that out there. Rhino defeats Slater.
Scooby-Doo was about to rape the Miz in that van. Just saying.
Think so? Rhino defeats Heath Slater, and Heath Slater has an opportunity to sign a contract for SmackDown. But the Heath Slater blew his chance by telling Shane and Daniel Bryan they were losers and that he could do this on his own. He doesn't need a contract. So, obviously, they may put him on Raw. I guess that's where they're going with it. And Shane said, are you going to sign this guy? And Daniel Bryan's like, no. So they threw the contract away. And so, anyways, obviously we know Heath Slater is on the roster. Regardless if it's Raw or SmackDown, he's with the WWE. So we all know that. He's not just going to wrestle for free. So Rhino ends up defeating the match. First of all, what do you guys think about Rhino? And what do you think about Heath Slater as a character? Are you really intrigued by him? Yes, no? We'll go ahead and start with Angry Mark.
Oh my God, Heath Slater has been freaking awesome to watch lately. Like this dude, I actually look forward to what he's gonna do every week. That's how entertaining he's been. I love the promo in the back before the match even started, where Heath Slater's like, hey, man, I got 4, 7 kids, it'd be cool if you can just, let me win here. Rhino's like, what kind of pool you got? He's like, I got a pool above ground. And Rhino's like, man, I'm still gonna kick your ass. Then they go in the ring, and then Heath Slater, he showed that he actually is underrated in ring work, actually, a little bit. He did pretty good, especially for a guy that just jumps out, it seems like, or used to. And I like the way he got. I like how he got overheated between Shane and Daniel and just left. That was pretty funny. Again, Heath Slater just cool.
So do you want to add anything to it, Kev?
I actually can't believe I'm about to say this, but I actually am going to join the Heath Slater band. I actually think he's been pretty entertaining the last couple weeks, and it's been kind of interesting. It's fresh, it's different. You don't know what he's going to do, and it's kind of funny. And the fact that they were going to offer him a contract, and he wouldn't let them talk, and then he basically was like, "Fuck that, no." It was actually kind of an entertaining segment, actually.
Terrence, you want to add anything to it?
This is the best thing that's ever happened to Heath Slater's career by far, and I'm really, really digging it. It is like really, really good to see they're actually using Heath Slater the best way possible for this guy. He's been really entertaining, and I just hope they can capitalize on this and make him an asset to WWE with this whole gimmick they're doing. I really enjoy. This is some good stuff.
All right, TTC face-off.
Yeah, I'll say this. I said this to many people. I think that Heath Slater thrives better in SmackDown as a character because it fits him real well. Like the way he's on the mic, he's like funny and stuff, and it's like you never know what you're gonna get from him. It's like, I mean, his ring. I mean, he took all his hits from Rhino and stuff. I mean, that was pretty impressive. And I can see why Shane and Dave did that. Like he has heart and stuff. And I feel like he will be back. He will be one of the main wrestlers on the show, and you're gonna just look forward to see what he does next week. And I just feel like I said, he's gonna thrive in the SmackDown brand.
I like how they added the Jinder Mahal in there. They were going to do the two-man band, and then they're like, we'll give you a contract. And he's like, no, my buddy's not going to turn his back on me. And Jinder Mahal did boot in, and now you got him in a situation. They're kind of making him like this clumsy guy, and it's kind of cool because now you got Heath Slater working both shows. So it helps give him some more notoriety, and it gives him a better advantage over the other wrestlers who are just on one show. So I think that's pretty cool for Heath Slater. I just wanted to add that in. I actually think he's very entertaining, and I think that him being on both shows actually benefits the company. They'll probably end up signing to both Raw and SmackDown. So I think that would be pretty cool. So we'll go ahead and go to the next segment. Carmella defeats Natalya in a debut. Carmella may not be interested on the microphone to me, but she's really hot, and she can wrestle. And that's one thing I give to her. She comes off as like this Staten Queen Island kind of girl with that New York accent. My dad's from New York, so I have to hear that New York accent every now and then. But overall, I think Carmella's very interested in the ring. I just think she needs to work on her microphone skills, but I think she's very talented, and I actually think she's very entertaining for the most part. I think on the microphone she just talks too much. Like she overdoes her promos. She just kind of cuts them short and sweet. I know she's trying to like get the fans to react, but the fans aren't really feeling her. At least tonight's crowd wasn't. They were kind of like, yeah, they weren't really repeating anything she said. So I don't know what you guys' feelings on her, but we'll go ahead and start with Angry Mark. Carmella defeats Natalya in her debut.
I didn't really care much for the match. Natalya to this point is just whatever, and Carmella's promo at the beginning was just cringeworthy. It was just like why are you trying so hard? You know what I mean? It's kind of like what you just said. It's just she's trying so hard to the point where it doesn't deliver like it's supposed to. But yeah, that's basically it.
What about you, Terrence?
It was whatever. there is some potential in Carmella, but her promo was a bit cringeworthy, I suppose. Yeah, I think she's a bit more chatty on the microphone, and she's like a little bit rambling at times. But I thought the match was okay with Natalia, and she got her big win, which I like. Got a win over Natalia, which is cool. Which was cool to see that they're actually, giving these NXT women that just recently got drafted. They're actually giving them wins, which is good. So, yeah, I guess.
All right, Kev.
Well, let's say she used to be a lot better in NXT. I've seen her do better promos in NXT than she did tonight. She was with Enzo and Cass in NXT, and they should have kept them all together. But she's not. She's got potential. Her mic work was a little cringy, like Mark said tonight. I like her submission move, though. I think that's pretty cool. It was cool for Natalia to put her over like that. I think that's kind of what Natty's role is now, is to put the younger girls over. I think that's what it is. But she's got potential.
All right, TTC Face-Off, what are your thoughts on the Carmelo winning her opening debut match? What do you think of her mic skills? What do you think of her wrestling ability? What do you think of her character?
I like her character, but I do feel like she needs to work on her mic skills. I think she's pretty decent and solid in the ring. Her submission moves are pretty good. And you guys want to talk about what's cringeworthy. I don't know if you noticed this, but every time when Natalia put her in a submission move, I don't know if you noticed this, but every time you would hear her like let out this loud scream. I don't know if you guys noticed that. And I didn't know if that was just me or that was everybody else. But I
don't notice that just now. I thought about that. Yeah, that is true.
That is kind of cringeworthy listening to that. It's like, should I just mute the mic every time she's in a submission move? Because that's what she's going to do, is let out this loud scream. I mean, I've never seen most divas let out these loud screams like her. I've never seen it before.
You like her character?
I mean, I think her character is pretty good. I mean, it needs a little bit of work, though, a little bit more work, but I mean, overall, it's kind of decent.
All right, so now we're at the main event of SmackDown. Dolph Ziggler and Dean Ambrose defeat Bray Wyatt, and Eric Rowan. So, what are your thoughts on the match? And obviously, we probably know we're probably not going to see this match again. But I don't know. Is there anything y'all want to add to it? We'll start with Angry Mark.
We're talking about the main event, right?
Yes.
I actually liked it. It was a fun match. I love how at the end there, when Dolph and Dean were celebrating, Dean reminded him, like, hey, bitch, don't forget about SummerSlam, okay? So, yeah, it was just really cool, really fun.
Terrence?
It was a solid tag team match, and I like the ending with Dean Ambrose hitting the dirty deeds on Dolph Ziggler, obviously to remind their match at SummerSlam, and also giving a bit of payback from what they did earlier in the show. But I have to say, Dean Ambrose, the Dirty Deeds, that name of a finisher sounds so gay. Not to be homophobic, but it sounds so sexual. Dean Ambrose doing the Dirty Deeds on Dolph Ziggler. Just.
So, Kev, what are your thoughts of the match, and you have anything you want to add to it?
Well, it was a pretty fun match, back and forth. It was solid. I actually did like Ambrose doing the dirty deeds to Ziggler, but now, after what Terrence said, now I can't think of the name ever. I can't think the name the same again. I mean, because the way Dolph Ziggler comes out and hitting the dirty deeds on Ziggler, I don't know if Ziggler liked it or not. I think he might have liked it, but that's just. I actually like the way Ziggler and Ambrose are being built in this match. That match has the potential to possibly steal the show. I don't know if it's going to be better than Balor and Rollins, but it has an opportunity to.
Steven, you're probably muted.
TTC face-off?
Yeah, I feel like the match was pretty good. I did like the ending, how he hit him with the dirty deeds to remind him that they're still in a match at SummerSlam. I do feel like the match could steal the show. I don't know if it's going to be as good as Balor and Rollins, but I mean, it could be there. I mean, it just depends on how they work in the ring on that day, or decide when if it's going to be good or not.
All right, so overall, what do you rate SmackDown, guys? TTC Face-Off, what do you rate it, 1 to 10?
SmackDown, man. Well, honestly, I didn't feel like either show did much improvement, but I guess I would, if I would say, I did say earlier before we went on here, I said I wouldn't give them the same, but if you would ask me which one was better, I would probably go with SmackDown a little bit.
Okay, so SmackDown you felt did better this week. All right,
Yeah.
Angry Mark, what do you rate SmackDown this week, and what do you rate SmackDown versus Raw? Which show did better?
For me, SmackDown was hands down the best show of the week, and SmackDown to me gets a nice 7 out of 10.
All right, what about you, Terrence? What do you rate SmackDown, and which show did better this week, Raw or SmackDown?
Well, SmackDown was the better show this week. Just by this review, I've been praising SmackDown a lot more than Raw was. Raw was just boring. SmackDown, there was a lot more excitement. The storylines mostly continued. And I have to say this, man. Even though Balor and Seth Rollins might be the better match, the feud, I think Ambrose and Ziggler has a much better feud and much more better build-up going into their match at SummerSlam, believe it or not. So, but yeah, SmackDown was a better show, and I give it a 7 out of 10. Really good stuff.
What about you, Kev? What do you rate SmackDown, and which show do you think did better this week?
SmackDown, hands down. It was the better show this week. A lot more entertaining stuff than Raw's was. I mean, Raw didn't even get past the 3 million mark in the ratings this week, and I agree. I think, like I said, Ziggler and Ambrose has the opportunity to possibly steal the show at SummerSlam. Is it going to be better than Balor and Rollins' match? I don't know, but the feud's been better, and I give it about a 6.5 to a 7.
Fair enough. All right, so I agree that SmackDown was obviously the better show, and I felt this way for the first couple of weeks. But I think that Raw did better the first week with the Finn Balor obviously winning that big match, and then Sasha Banks winning the women's title. I felt like they kind of had the upper hand, but I felt like the last couple of weeks SmackDown has kind of picked up the ante and kind of took over. So my question is, now that we're already kind of past everything, I just want to add this question in before we close out. What do you guys think of the whole Conor McGregor calling the wrestlers pussies and stuff? We'll go ahead and start with Angry Mark. What y'all thought about this whole back and forth thing going on?
Me personally, I don't really care about it. It's whatever. You know, Conor McGregor, at least I don't believe he's still undefeated. Oh, no, he's not. He's like, I don't know, something in 2 or whatever. So, you know, it's not like he's this undefeated guy that just call everyone a pussy because, you know what I mean? And I do agree, you know, Conor McGregor obviously has no idea what the wrestling business is like.
Yeah.
And also part of
he could kick their ass. He could kick all their asses and twice on Sundays.
I like to see him try and kick like Nakamura's ass, you know, or Daniel Bryan's ass. You know, wrestlers have actually had martial arts training. But yeah, that's just me.
Oh wow. What do you think about it, Terrence, about this whole McGregor thing, saying he can kick their ass and twice on Sundays, and he called the wrestlers a bunch of pussies? I mean, the wrestlers have responded. They've been throwing shots at him, but what do you think of the whole thing?
To be perfectly real with you, I just find it hilarious, and that's all I've basically thought. I didn't really look into it all that much. I wasn't really being so overly defensive like a lot of the wrestlers were and a lot of the fans were. I just said, you know what? For all I know, this can just be for show. But either way, for show or not, I just found it very hilarious. Especially with the replies that some of the WWE guys have been dishing out at Conor McGregor. You know, either way, I just find it hilarious.
You think McGregor could kick all their asses and twice on Sundays?
That I don't know.
What are your whole thoughts on it, Kev? I know you're an MMA guy. What are your whole thoughts on that shit?
I find it laughable. McGregor was just doing it just to get over because the last fight he had, he actually lost, and he's not undefeated anymore. So I think that's his way of being like, well, I'm going to shit on Brock Lesnar for shitting on UFC. But let's just be real. If this was a real octagon fight, he wouldn't be able to kick Brock Lesnar's ass. All right? He wouldn't be. I would love to see him against Nakamura, like Mark said. Daniel Bryan. I would even go in to say that a young Kurt Angle could whoop his ass.
Nice.
So
Yeah, I know he was lashing out at Titus O'Neil, and he was saying that he was going to kick his ass. You think he could?
he could. If it's a straight out fight, I don't know for sure. I mean, Titus O'Neil's a former football player, but I don't know if he's big enough to fit Titus O'Neil's leg, though.
So in an MMA fight, you think he might be able to beat him, but not no.
No, honestly, I know. Honestly, he basically was kissing Triple H, The Rock's ass, and all. And we think, well, those are good people, but everybody else can kick their ass twice on Sunday. I mean, honestly, fans who are getting upset about it shouldn't be. It's just him making publicity and.
Yeah,
You know,
I wasn't. Actually, I thought it was kind of funny.
right. It is kind of funny.
What about you, TTC Face Off? What do you think about this whole Conor McGregor thing?
Yeah, I do feel like he's just trying to make a name for himself, trying to get his name out there and stuff. I feel like I don't know if he's trolling or not, if he's serious, but if he is, I mean, most of those wrestlers would probably kick his ass.
How tall is McGregor anyway?
What is he like? Is he like 6 foot something?
He's like 5'9", I think, something like that.
Like, oh yeah, he could get his ass pummeled. I mean, there's no. I mean, like, what? Was he want to go in the ring with Daniel Bryan or somebody now? You know, I feel like Daniel Bryan would put him in the yes lock and fucking make him tap out.
All right, well, I guess we got our answers to that. So overall, we all agree that SmackDown was pretty much the better show. Kristen just messaged me on Facebook and said she agreed that SmackDown was a better show. She gave it a 7.5. So just to add that on, I want to appreciate all you guys for being part of this. Is there anything you guys... Oh, he's 5'9", 170. That's what Kev just said. Okay. Well, I don't think McGregor would get too far with a lot of these guys. He might be able to kick... he might be able to kick like Enzo's ass, or he'll probably kick Sin Cara's ass.
Well, you know what?
Sin Cara, I'm not too sure.
You know what, Steven?
What?
I actually want to see Conor McGregor. I just want him to whoop Jericho's ass because I'm tired of Jericho wearing that scarf and that damn mustache. I mean, you know, that's just too much.
Okay, do you think he can kick Jericho's ass, Angry Mark?
Yeah, but I don't know about Sin Cara, man, because, you know, one wrong move with Sin Cara and fucking Conor McGregor's neck's gonna get broken.
Oh.
Yeah, just have Sin Cara go for her Karana or something like that, and just have him botch it. I'm gonna be like, holy fuck, what the fuck?
Oh, by the way, Steven, there was comments on the video.
What?
Okay, so Antonio Garcia said that he would like to see Big Show versus Kane versus Triple H in a retirement match.
Ooh.
Ferris said that Roman Reigns is garbage, but his promo wasn't terrible. And I Am Tron says it's not real, people.
What's not real?
Hey, Terrence, is wrestling fixed?
But it ain't broken. How can it be fixed if it ain't broken?
I know, right?
Exactly.
I'm just saying.
Any other comments?
No, just basically Ferris trolling.
Oh, okay, I figured that. Ferris is always trolling. And then the I Am Tron said it's fixed.
Yeah, he said it's fake, people.
Yeah, the storyline and the fact they're all friends, probably, yeah, and the fact the match is script, yeah. But the moves aren't.
I think that's that 49ers fan in the TTC. I think that's Megatron 49er.
Oh, he's probably trolling.
Yeah, I feel bad for him. You know what? I feel bad for him being a 49er fan.
Speaking of 49ers, we play them this week, but that's on a whole totally different video.
You know,
We're going to go ahead and...
They're going to be pissed off, but...
What?
Those guys be pissing off the 49ers. They're supposed to go 11-5 this year.
Me and Steven, we don't got to piss off 49ers fans, okay? The record of the 49ers fans will piss off the fans, okay?
Ooh, I like that shit. But we're gonna go ahead and end this segment off. It's almost pretty much going on an hour and 40 minutes. So it's the sexiest man alive in the universe, better believe it. And it's TTC faced off Matt Ogden. And it's Angry Mark and Terrence and Kev's point of view. Anything else you guys want to add? 'Cause we're about to sign.
Before we add this, I don't know if Steven's gonna do this. Like, you noticed last week we did the whole, we re-uploaded it. You guys re-uploaded it on your pages. You don't have to do that now. Their channels are in the description. The links are in the description if you want to check them out. Check out their content. They don't just make wrestling videos. They make TDC videos also. I mean, trash talk videos about their football teams. And that's all I got to say about that. So that's all I got to say.
And we'll put angry remarks on there too. And I don't know if Terrence has a YouTube link, but we'll put theirs at the bottom of the description as well. And Kev's point of view as well.
Yeah. No, Kev's point of view is already there. So.
All right, Terrence, you have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, it's the Wrestling Express. Subscribe to that. It's Wrestling Express, one word.
We'll just send us the link and we'll copy and paste it to this channel. And
all right, no problem.
Angry Mark will do the same for you too.
Mm-hmm.
Right, sweet.
All right, so we're officially signing off live. We'll probably be on here off air, secretly gossiping about everybody else. Don't worry, y'all won't be able to see it. So until then, it's the sexiest man alive, and we are officially signing off live.